Guys, man, Somer Del Piso back once again. Today I want to really talk about semen retention again. You know how I love talking about semen retention. Guys, for the people that are a little clueless, it's about being celibate. You're not looking at adult film content. You're not releasing with anyone. There's no edging, nothing whatsoever. It is solely disciplined sexually. There's no leakage. We know about semen retention for the people that have been practicing it, but I want to go a little further into what this practice is a catalyst for, what it leads to inevitably. What it ultimately leads to, which is the topic, the crux of this video, is spiritual isolation. This is gonna be deep, guys. I'm gonna try to talk to you in the best of my ability. I'm gonna explain everything because me, myself, I am currently in spiritual isolation. I've been in this current little time frame or this domain, this liminal space for 7 months. 7 months is not a code for anything. I'm not part of any secret society. I have no plans on joining any of these weirdos at all, because I think that all the information they know it can be learned. So I'm going to try to describe how semen retention and spiritual isolation are linked, right? Inextricably. Like, comment, subscribe. Let's get into it. So semen retention, in addition to the aforementioned benefits that I've described, there are other spiritual higher benefits that you attain from semen retention. There is the development that happens through semen retention that a lot of people don't really speak about, which is intuition. You start to intuitively understand people. There are quirks or things that they do. Maybe there is energy that they exude to a certain degree that allows you to pick up on it very, very quickly when you're on semen retention for a long period of time and act accordingly. You understand a lot about people very, very intuitively, very quickly, and very, very aptly as well. You realize that a lot of when you get into this level of intuitive understanding, there is a refusal, right? A denial. A lot of us choose to ignore this new faculty that's opened itself up to us because it wasn't part of the way we processed the world before, and we are afraid of what that means, having thoughts like that about other people, about events, about things. We think of ourselves as probably delusional in some sense until you choose to deny your intuition, the developed intuition from semen retention, and you see everything that you thought about come out in reality. You see that person that you had a little bit of an apprehension towards talking to or speaking to or trusting gave you the correct reason in reality why that person should not be trusted, should not be spoken to. This retained after a while, so to speak, develops this permanent metacognition and meta-perception. This intuition, it becomes a sixth sense that is part of the way that you analyze people, part of the way that you judge people, because you realize that it's not incorrect. Then the more you start utilizing, you skip the denial phase and you start to utilize your intuition on the people around you. You start to pick up on like very, very meta interactions and communication habits that people have with each other. And you realize ultimately that people are very, very cyclical in the way that they communicate with each other. They're very basest in nature. They live on, if you want to bring it to Hinduism, right? They live on the sacral chakra only. They don't think of anything higher. They don't think of anything that has to do with discipline, anything orderly. They only seek pleasure for pleasure's end. They exploit for pleasure. They manipulate for pleasure. That's all they do. That is the only thing that people generally know how to do. We have become a bit more sophisticated now. We have three-piece suits. We have beautiful Giorgio Armani shoes. What's the other one? Salvatore Ferragamo shoes, because he's more known for shoes, just to keep it accurate. But the sophistication and elegance can be faked and falsified, which is what the people of the world do. But in reality, their souls and their inclinations of their souls are still the same. There's no difference between the people of the world and the children of Israel in the Old Testament. Their inclination to worship idols and seek pleasure for pleasure's sake is still the same. There is no difference between them. And so for me, just to tie in my personal experience, I've realized these things during my practice of semen retention, during my trusting of my intuition, during my spiritual isolation. I've realized a lot of things. I've realized how powerful God is. He's a shadow on every single thing that I've done. And I've done a lot of bad things in regard to God in the past. I was angry, and it's all due to ignorance. And I apologize as many times as I could whenever I pray, because I didn't realize how tied or inextricably linked God has been in my life. It's nuts. To even have this level of understanding about how people interact in the world is a gift. This is not something that is obtained through intellectual study. It's not. So the spiritual isolation has served that. It's helped me become closer to God. It has helped me understand God more. It has helped me understand not necessarily my purpose, because I'm still unsure of what I'm meant to do or what I'm supposed to do, but I'm doing the best I can. I'm trying to be very, very disciplined. I'm trying to, stay focused, not be too... I don't really have inclinations toward anger anymore. I don't hate the people of the world. I don't dislike them. I just understand exactly where they come from. And so I just walk through the world as it is, The spiritual isolation has also taught me a lot about destiny. I've been having a lot of dreams lately, not to quote Kingdom Hearts, but I've been thinking a lot about life and just things in general. I've had like a lot of visions. I've had a lot of dreams. I'm not going to disclose this information here because I'm sure my channel is being watched by unsavory characters for sure. But I started to understand a lot more because a lot of my dreams have been being shown in real life. There's been a lot of situations that I've escaped from recently during this period of spiritual isolation, which I can only attribute not to my own efforts, but to God, nothing else. And I've realized that this comes to the next step of spiritual isolation. I think that you understand more about the nature of God, more than the people of the world, at a different level. I won't say more, but at a different level. You understand that, at least like I said earlier, for me, He has never left me. He has never left my side. He has never disappeared. It's just that I wasn't at a state where I could perceive the blessings from God. The whole idea of coming into semen retention, whether you guys accept it or not, or maybe you guys see it as like some sort of curse or not, because it does separate you from the world. It causes enmity between you and the people of the world, because generally the people of the world are of a different nature. They're of a different quality, a different material. And semen retention renews your material, which was of them. And so because you are renewed, made white, there's going to be enmity. That's just the natural cause of things. Antimatter and matter do not mix because they are of different natures. It's the same thing. And the spiritual isolation has helped me with my semen retention journey in a very, very powerful way. I haven't developed this like futility with the people of the world. Listen, I need to use the bathroom. Hey, can I use the bathroom? What do you think about the World Cup? What do you think about this team? What do you think about that team? What do you think about the politics that's going on in regard to Palantir, Peter Thiel, transhumanism? We can have these conversations, of course, on an intellectual level, but I understand exactly where they are. I understand exactly what level their souls are at. I truly understand it. This is another thing that's developed due to the spiritual isolation, due to semen retention. And I don't look down on them. I just understand exactly where they are. There's a pervasiveness also of peace and serenity that comes about from not only the practice of semen retention, but spiritual isolation. You realize that people in the world, not only they're taken on to pleasure for pleasure's end, but they're interested in anger. Like they indulge in their angry feelings, anger and hate. They want to separate themselves from other groups of people. They believe, of course, like they live on sacral level existences, that race is a big separation, a big marker, a factor of separation between souls, when the only discrimination that's only existed on this earth was energy. That's it. That is it. There's no one group of people that are more apt to spiritual knowledge or a spiritual ascent than another group. That's never been the case. The only thing that matters is if you're willing to take on the task of metaphorically carrying your cross and renewing yourself so you can be seen by God and renew your complete faith, your complete body, your complete mind. Right. I'm fit. As you guys can see, a lot of people on the channel have commented on how, Sombra, you like to take care of yourself, you're always going to the gym. And the only reason I do this is not even for aesthetics. I couldn't care less about how I looked. I do this because I want to subjugate my body. I want to control it. The body is ultimately a beast. This is something else that I've learned during my period of spiritual isolation. The body is an animal. It belongs to the lower levels of existence, the sacral levels, as people live through and live on. Through subjugation of the body, you can see and have access to the higher planes, right? You can understand what God was saying. You can understand God's blessings. I try to eat very, very clean. I drink water, sparkling water. I don't drink alcohol. I don't smoke or do any drugs. Not only because it's harmful for the body, but it's because not only that, it separates you from communication of the divine. God does not speak to the ones whose bodies are not subjugated. And so that's the only reason why I go to the gym, why I do boxing, why I subjugate the flesh, why I'm not interested in adult film content. I need to ascend. I need to do better. I need to control myself. So semen retention and spiritual isolation has also taught me about the nature of seeking spiritual knowledge or spiritual affirmations outside the self. Which goes back to another point that I made earlier about getting closer to God, how I've gotten closer to God through this spiritual isolation. A lot of times I've seen, like I said, like 7, 13, 12, and like in sums and number sequences on buses, on cabs, on like everywhere, on surfaces in general. And when I was younger, when I made up a number system and attached meanings to those numbers, before I got into the whole study of numerology, I started to rely on that information. I started to rely on the meanings of those numbers. Like when I would see a certain number, I would feel better, right, about life, or feel a little worse about life, depending on what the sum was, because I remember I attached meaning to those things. And what this spiritual isolation has taught me, bringing me closer to God, is that is of your own machination. That's of my own invention, which is not necessarily objectively true, right? You should only trust God. You should only trust His signs. You should not try to attach a selfish meaning to something that's meant to represent something divine, or meant to symbolize something divine. And now I started listening. I see triple numbers everywhere. I've seen like 7, 13. I see these numbers all the time, and I don't really care anymore, because it doesn't mean anything. There's no value in that besides what God attaches to them. And so that's something that I really gained from this a lot. Some of the physical things, because of course all the benefits can't be spiritual, right? Even though I'm in spiritual isolation. A lot of the benefits too that I've gotten, physical benefits that I've gotten from spiritual isolation, is this want to be clean, like physically. I've always like taken showers, right? Brush my teeth. I go to the dentist twice a year. I do the doctor's appointments, and but still, it's like I'm very interested in the integrity of my clothing, right? Interested in how my nails look. I'm interested in how my face looks. I'm interested in how I smell. All of these things, because I want to be clean. I don't want to be representative of the things of the world. I don't want to be of these guys. We're just different. We're just inherently different. We're fundamentally different. And so that's just really what I've been chasing. This need to just be clean, just to be right. So I don't know, guys. That's all I really have to say. I really hope you enjoyed that kind of content. Like, comment, subscribe. If you do, share the video with some peers. Don't ever let this place get you down, guys. I'm telling you, the world generally are of a herd. They're of a herd mentality. It's not any surprise that the elites call people sheep, because they follow. They're meant to go after the shepherd. This level of understanding will be normal in the days to come, in the future to come, in the latter days. It's just that people are just interested in pleasure, and I get it. I get that mindset. If you lived in pleasure for your entire life, your parents have not taught you anything about a higher way. They teach you about church, but the way that they describe the text doesn't teach you anything about a higher way in terms of subjugating the body and perceiving that higher way. You're going to continue living in a basis level, seeking materialism, riches, seeking pleasure. And you're going to teach that to your kids, and then their kids to their kids, until there's a divinely ordained intervention that allows people to see differently. And I'm glad that that's happened to me. I think I'm probably going to be the first in my bloodline to renew everything. But seriously, to carry on, to change the way that my blood has carried on. and I'm very, very happy for this responsibility and task. Seriously. So I love you guys. Stay radiant. I'm going to see you guys in the next video.